All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the BizEquity 2017 Update webinar. We're going to be presenting this with our CEO and founder, Mike Carter. And today, during the time together, we'll be taking a look at a number of things. First, we want to just talk about some of the new partnerships and successes that we have seen from a business standpoint here, and some of the great names that have decided to partner with us and have, we've been able to welcome into the BizEquity family. We'll take a look at, secondly, some of the bigger projects that we've worked on in 2016 and the things that we've released to make BizEquity a better product. And then finally, we will review some of the great projects that we have on our 2017 development roadmap. We have a lot of great things planned for the upcoming year, and we are very excited to share some of those things with you. And we really appreciate the time and the opportunity to talk to all of our users here during our webinar today. So without further ado, here is our founder and CEO, Mr. Michael Carter.
What's happened in 2017 was tremendous for us from a business perspective, and I thank everybody on this call. We grew over 300%, and now we're up to 370 advisor offices, made up mostly, obviously, of wealth managers, insurance firms and carriers, a few banks, and even some accounting firms. We have over 1,500 users from these advisor offices, and we have 6 major core carriers that we have something more than just a single advisor office with the 2 enterprise deals, our first 2 enterprise deals, coming from Guardian Insurance as well as Penn Mutual. So we're honored to be working with all of you on this call and on this webinar, and really pleased with the progress. And I think it's really important not so much to talk about us, why we're doing this slide, is just because we feel that you're part of the family, and to share with you our success and our progress as a company. What we've learned from all of you through a lot of the surveys and other things that the success team has done is there's been tremendous success with the product, both on the prospecting and the engagement side. On the prospecting and engagement side, a lot of that success, besides AUM and wealth management, has been in insurance sold because of BizEquity or helped by BizEquity. And a lot of that stems from the fact that 40% of business owners or entrepreneurs don't have any life insurance. 50% of those folks are underinsured. But prior to BizEquity, it was really hard to be able to prove the need to the client, and therefore they weren't protected. And why it was hard was, as we all know, regardless of administration, and tomorrow's the inauguration for the new president, but regardless of administration or even country, as we found at BizEquity, most small businesses and profitable small and mid-sized companies are run to be tax efficient. And in running it to be tax efficient, they limit their pre-tax or their earnings, and therefore they strip out what they make and the expenses that they put into the business. So there's not a fair transparency for those small business owners for a true value of what their business is worth. And what we've been able to do is shine a light on that and show these business owners that their business is worth more than they think, and therefore they should protect themselves and their families. So with just 8% of our user group sampled, we've helped to generate now over $168 million of insurance around whole life coverage. And from a lead perspective, we've generated close to 5,000 leads now for wealth managers and insurers using our tool. So again, it's a big theme that we're seeing, that was very important for everyone to get the infrastructure in place, I guess, with CRM systems or their corporate websites. But now people need reasons to engage their clients and find new prospects, and we've really hit the mark with that thanks to the product engineering team and the success team. So I wanted to share with you just a few of those case studies. This is one from Adam Holt. Adam's a terrific wealth advisor locally in Philadelphia, and he just told us the story this past Friday. So we put him in the deck here, and he shared with us the story and called us because he was very excited. The fact that there was a prospect that he didn't even classify necessarily as a prospect, he classified him as a friend, that he didn't manage any of his money, and the friend was selling a second generation family business with a few partners, and he gave his friend access to our product, complimentary, and our product showed a couple key highlights, and it helped this particular person in the decision-making process to accept that deal. And a few weeks later, Adam got a call to help manage, $18 million or $15 million from that business owner, because the business owner was blown away that Adam just kind of passed that over complimentary. So that's very exciting, and the thing I think that we get so geared up on at BizEquity and excited about is, this isn't our first rodeo for a lot of us in terms of building, good products and software companies. And I know that even in the most successful software companies, it's a challenge sometimes to get case studies. In our case, we've been blessed that we get phone calls literally, I think, at least once a week, John, from an email or a phone call with somebody saying, thank you, I've used your product, and it's really been helpful and very, very much been help to our success. And the beauty part about how we've priced the system, as you all know, you kind of only have to be right once to get the ROI, even though the success team's mission and our mission is to make you use it even more and more and make the product better and better so you get more usage. So Adam, thank you for that call and thank you for your case study. The next one is Evan, as an advisor that operates out within a bank, and he was able to utilize our product to get $200,000 in over $200,000 in premium value from 3 cases. And you see what what he likes to say there, which is it kind of helps differentiate him in the local market by being able to deliver and utilize our service. And finally, one of our GAs at MassMutual, we're up to I think close to 20 GAs and 80 users at MassMutual, which is one of the largest carriers in the country, as everybody knows. Joe Malley, I believe the youngest ever general agent at MassMutual, tremendous talent and great mind for technology. And what he's done in focusing his efforts both at MassMutual and Peerless is utilize BizEquity to help prospect, but also to engage with business owners. So his view was calling a business owner and saying, would you like to meet to understand your estate, or would you like to meet, maybe you're underinsured, is totally different than calling and saying, if you're like 98% of business owners, you don't know your value. Complimentary, I'd like to share that with you and give you access to a 29-page report, complimentary. It's been very successful for Joe, and we love the fact that Joe's one of our power users based upon his usage, and wish him continued success. So with all that in mind, what we did in terms of some of the stuff that we improved upon this past year, and when I say this past year, I mean 2016, is we improved the insurance value report. As everyone knows, we released this in the fall time frame, and what we wanted to do is allow for better branding for you, the advisors, and also kind of better visual representation and the ability to print it out in a more elegant manner. So you see the new look and feel from the insurance value report. Pretty powerful with the 8 top policies that most business owners would need. We do an estimate of what the need would be. So it's an independent third party utilized, and that this is being used by even advanced sales and marketing departments at carriers now. And we think it only will expand with underwriting data and big data used from the carriers themselves on the enterprise relationships. Secondly, we heard from you, our users and important clients and members of our family, that we needed to improve or continue to improve our contact records and data. And that's what we do. So we do it monthly now. We developed and even further expanded our relationship with Equifax. While we have many different providers of data, Equifax is kind of our core provider. We think they have the best file out there, and we're the only ones in our space, obviously, with access to that. And we get that refresh now monthly. So you'll see the data continue to get better and better and better as we do even more machine learning on top of that. And then finally, what we did was we also heard from you the ability to add real estate valuation data into our tool. So we're not trying to compete with Zillow or with a home appraiser. They're great solutions that are already out in the market, but the valuation should leverage those. So here, as you remember now in step 7, the ability to put do you rent or do you own, and if you own, is this a business property? For a lot of small businesses, that's very important, and now that's even represented in the report. So those were just 3 things that we, added to the product in 2016. We had over 20 different kind of break, fix, enhanced features based upon feedback that the success team had from you all. I didn't include those, but if you think about it, the product improved 25 different ways in 2016, and we just wanted to click refresh and reshare that with you. But the real purpose for getting together, one was to thank everyone, but secondly, it was to give you the peak of 2017, because we're so excited about the product roadmap and what we're building out this year that we couldn't wait. So it's the opposite of any Apple release where it's clouded in secrecy. I'm probably not the best with secrets, as you'll see. So there are 3 main buckets we'll show you. The first one being the search feature. We know how powerful the search feature can be for bankers, for accountants, let alone for wealth advisors and insurance agents. It's been one of our most powerful parts of our product, knowing that when you did get a client through the 7-step process, you had them, because the 7-step process that we have in the report has become kind of the good housekeeping seal of approval for business valuation. We're the first mover in the space. But we heard from all of you that prospecting and engagement was so critical because everyone needs new clients and everybody wants to take care of their existing clients better. So we're adding more data to the product, but not just more data, we're making the user interface even more powerful. So what you see here is a couple things. More filters. So you can see you can filter now, not just by the business estimate, but you'll be able to filter by revenue size as well as employee size. And we changed the name of the pre-value estimate to the biz estimate. So you'll see nomenclature as well as the ability, if needed, to search by the insurance value estimate based upon their business value estimate. Also, you'll see easier ways to consume the data, so you can save searches, come back, drill down on that particular search. We know that was a feature a lot of folks wanted. We're building that in, and what's going to happen in the first half of the year within our big data search feature, these features and functionality will just appear in the product, and we're not going to upcharge for this better user experience. Secondly, within big data search, what you'll see is, I talked about the expanded search features, but you'll see more detailed contact data. As I mentioned, we get the monthly feeds from Equifax. We've also expanded our other data relationships to try to put those feeds and make them more concrete from other sources. And additionally, what you'll find, which will benefit the majority of our users on this call, is benefit plan data. This was a contribution from our COO, Mike Zabrowski, who kind of pointed us in this direction. But we heard from users that there were data companies that had emerged that just used public company records from the government around benefit plans that companies had, and the ability to drill down. And the drill downs were pretty exhaustive. So they got a lot of details on particular data plans. What we did for the benefit of our users and the benefits of why you're doing this around prospecting is we said, okay, well, what are the 10 most important elements that you need to know? So what you'll be able to see in our search system soon, in the next 60 days or so, is benefit plan data from the companies that file for and show the government that they actually have a benefit plan, where it will list the plan sponsor. Number one, do they have a benefit plan? If they do, who's the sponsor? Who runs it? How much in total asset coverage is there? What's the address? And has it grown? And drum roll for this, I think, is we're going to pass this on to the users here as you renew this year. We'll pass this on to you kind of free of charge as a value-added service for being part of our family of users. So we're very excited about this feature around the 5500 data. And I discussed finally expanded search features, but one more slide ahead here. Some of the additional features we want to talk about is the ability over time to even make the search voice activated. Now that'll probably be in the latter half of 17, but it's something that, you know, we have obviously a view to the future, and the whole notion of AI and voice activation is something that you'll see from us as we go forward, both in 17 as well as 2018, but also the ability to store and upload and download these contact records to potentially even run marketing campaigns from our system, or at least integrate into your CRM system that runs the marketing campaigns. So I can promise you that the big data search capabilities will be significantly enhanced. We can promise you that you'll see this, most of these features and more by the end of the year. The exact time frame, you know, we're under development now. We're testing a lot of these. We'll probably phase this in. The first of which will be the 5,500 data coming within 60 days. So couldn't wait to show you this. The second big feature that we found that we heard from users was the fact that if you think about what we do today, BizEquity, we help you discover a business value of a client or prospect, and we help you monitor that business value with the dashboard. But the idea of helping you grow that value of that business, and sitting with that business owner to help him or her grow their value, is something that is kind of the holy grail, and it's something that you should be very, you know, all of us should be very conservative about and pragmatic about, but also something very powerful if we can crack that code, quite literally. So IBM has Watson, Salesforce has Einstein, we have Franklin. So headquartered outside of Philadelphia, we're going to be releasing Franklin. Franklin's going to be our business valuation optimizer. And the idea here is leveraging AI technology to help a business determine how they can grow the value of their company by giving them, beyond helpful hints, kind of a playbook over time. And two quick screen grabs you'll see in the Franklin Optimizer tool will be the current valuation of the business, but then also what's the exit goal, or what's the end goal, or what's the 24-month goal that they can configure. And based upon that, what we'll do is come up with, which we've already have right now in testing, is we'll come up with different levers for them to pull that gets them to that desired outcome. And if you think about it, it's an extension of, you know, our step 6 and our step 7 around the play bar there, but it goes beyond it. So where this is going to go in the years ahead for BizEquity is the ability to have a voice playbook from Franklin, the ability to have a literal playbook to help them grow their net worth, and something that only the advisor will be able to consume in their dashboard. So much like the insurance value report, if you subscribe to it, is a new feature within the dashboard, you'll have Franklin's face as a new feature in the dashboard. And for the baseline of Franklin, we're going to pass this on as well to our core users that renew this year, because you've been with us from the beginning, as another service in kind of the first phase of this that you'll get to see and play with. Finally, all the great efforts that our success team put in place in 2016 with Success Center 1.0, which has been very useful and successful, quite literally, for all of you on the phone, and one of the reasons that we have over 90% retention rate with our clients. And John Treese and the team is even going to make it better. So the Success Center 2.0, our goal is to get this out in the market as well in the next probably 60 days, so?
Maybe sooner.
Maybe sooner. So you'll all have access to that. You saw the Vimeo integration that the team did, so the ability to get collateral and other materials, print it, and streamline that for you all off of our tool. It's going to go one step further with more integrations, easier to consume call scripts, even social media additions. We have a new member of our team, Grace Wagner, who's helping to spearhead our marketing and our social marketing efforts. So you'll be hearing more from her as well. But our view is what we do corporately for marketing and social media, we want you all to benefit from it as well. So you could push different key messages or notes that we might utilize in social media to your clients and prospects in the field. So again, thank you so much. We're very excited to share with you those 3 big things coming down the pike for us. You know, we couldn't be more grateful for your support.
All right, thanks, Mike. We're actually going to take a moment or two while we gather some comments, and I certainly invite you to pose any questions that you may have into the chat box in your in the WebEx setup screen there. We'll review those really quick, and then we'll be back on to provide a couple of answers to those. So again, hang tight. Thank you for being on, and we'll be right back with you in just a moment. A couple of questions that have come through. The first one being really understanding better the timeline for the different releases in the prospect tool. So some of the things that we looked at, Mike, if you could speak to, you know, when we can expect some of this stuff to be delivered.
No, it's a great question. And it was kind of descending order of when we were going to deliver it based on what I was saying. So Success Center 2.0 will be delivered, you know, the first 60 days within this quarter that we're in, Q1 2017. The next bit is going to be the first phase of the new enhancements with search, and that's going to include the 5500 data, the benefit plan data, and that'll be probably mid this quarter, so mid-February. That should be released. So by the end of February, that'll be released. The other components with the filtering and other things being released right after that. The sales and marketing, campaign management features within the prospecting tool, that'll be probably second half of 2017, and as will the personal wealth data, which we touched on in a slide, but I didn't speak to as much. The ability to understand the personal wealth estimation of a particular business owner, that's something we have up our sleeves as well, and that'll be in the second half of 17, and followed by Franklin, which will be probably Q3, Q4 of 2017. So Success Center, if you think about it on a timeline, Success Center's far left, Franklin's far right, and the search features are kind of in the middle.
Another question, feature related, deals with the insurance value report. Question here says, is that available currently, and how do we get that, or when will that be available?
Yeah, that's available currently. It's been utilized very successfully by Security Mutual Life of New York, one of our first key insurance companies that have utilized our product early on, a few years ago even, and been used to some great success. So that's available now currently. Contact customer success for your license. You can have that icon in your dashboard.
All right, next question deals with the Franklin tool. Will there be a charge for the Franklin tool, or will that be a complimentary service for current users?
Yeah, for current users that renew this year, which we expect obviously all of you to do, it'll be a complimentary tool and service and part of the fabric of what we want to deliver as a company to help you not just discover a value of a prospect or a client, not just monitor it, but then also to optimize it and help you grow that value for that business owner.
All right, final question it looks like it's more of a qualitative question for you. What would you consider the biggest achievement that BizEquity gained through 2016?
Wow, that's a tremendous, big question. I'd have to say we knew the product was powerful, but I think getting north of 90% retention from our clients that have used it and that see the value, so all of you, I think that was our, I think biggest accomplishment because it shows that there's inherent ROI in the product. And while we continue to innovate, and this is a big thing with us, so we're kind of a Silicon Valley company that happens to be based on the East Coast of the United States in terms of how we think about the world and think about our position product-wise. The engineering team is so important to us at our company, and what we continue to do is invest kind of ahead of things and invest ahead of the product. So even though we've emerged as the first mover in the space and the leader in this new space, it's too good of an idea, right? If you think about it, to democratize an $8 billion market and put it online and give people access to know what their biggest asset is worth, that we know we're going to have competition eventually. So we have to continue to innovate. And that's why you see things like the use of AI to do Franklin. You see things like the ability to do more and more voice, not just in 17, but probably in 18. The ability to kind of move beyond just how people think about business valuation and into prospecting and engagement and into connecting into other integration points like CRM. I think number one, biggest accomplishment was all of you, a 90% retention rate plus, and we want to increase that. But I think what it's also done is harden our focus to continue to innovate, and that's what we always, as a management team and as a tribe, as a team that we have here, we push ourselves on, because we know that it's not good enough just to be the leader in an early market. We want to continue to blow people away with some of the innovations, and that's why we did this webinar today, is to give everybody a sneak peek of what we plan on delivering.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. And we do try to do these on at least a biannual basis, if not a quarterly basis at this point, just to keep everybody up to date. And again, it's great to see so many people who have tuned in and spent some time with us this afternoon. The webinar was recorded, so anybody who registered, it will be dropped off. A copy of it or a link to play it will be arriving in your email inbox around noontime tomorrow. We'll get that to you. So again, we thank you for being on the call today. And if there's any questions, just email us at support@bizequity.com. Have a great afternoon, everybody.